Today, I'm talking to survivor and advocate Safiyah Hill. Unfortunately, Safiyah found a lump at age 36, but she had no insurance. She was referred to the Rose just 10 days after her daughter turned 13. She shares how our team helped her qualify for Medicaid and how she was able to get into breast cancer treatment at MD Anderson, and it only took a few weeks. She also says that our navigators walked with her through chemo, through surgery, through radiation, through her hair loss, and helped her with those hard conversations that she needed to have with 2 young children. Now, nearly 11 years later, she calls herself a survivor who refuses to whisper. Showing up in clinics and churches and treatment rooms, she wears these T-shirts that provide humor and faith. If her voice makes you think of someone who has delayed making an appointment because of money or fear, then share this episode with them. And always consider making a donation to the Rose because it really helps us to care for another woman. Welcome to Let's Talk About Your Breast, a podcast brought to you by the Rose, Breast Imaging Center of Excellence and a Texas treasure. I'm Dorothy Gibbons, your host and co-founder of the Rose. During this season, you'll also be hearing from co-host Roxanne Hayford and others as we bring you stories from survivors, physicians, caregivers, researchers, employees, and supporters. These are real people sharing difficult times, celebrations, and personal stories of hope, despair, and faith. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Safiyah.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
You know, I've never heard of the Phenomenal Women's event? And that's where you met Shannon McNair?
Yes, ma'am. That's where I met her. They actually go to, it was done at a church I grew up at, and my family still goes there. So my cousin had put me in a hat to be one of their guests for the event.
Oh.
And prior to her reaching out to me, the day that I finally talked to Miss Nicole, she was like, well, we changed our sponsor. We're going to, actually, the funds we raised, we're going to donate to the Rose. And I was like, you know what, you have me. And then I kind of broke down my story for her, and she was like, oh, my goodness. I said, yes, they're the reason that I'm here today.
Well, tell me that story.
Yeah, so in 2015, like any other, I just felt something. I've never really been a home checker to say, but this time I was like, this don't feel right. And so I went to, because at the time I didn't have insurance, so I had like the women's Medicaid, where you can at least get your yearly checkups. And so I went for that, and she felt it as well. And she was like, well, we'll refer you to the Rose. And honestly, I had never heard of the Rose before prior to then. And I got my appointment, and, I came by myself, and it was right after my daughter turned 13. She had just turned 13 on January the 2nd, and this was January the 5th. And I went in, and they saw, felt the lump too.
Did you come here to the one at...
I went to the one that's on
Bel Air.
Bel Air.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. That's where I went. And so they wanted me to come back. After they felt the lump, they wanted to do a biopsy. And they wanted me to come back in February. And but by the same token, I had a situation going on with my daughter where we were going to be in court. And it started February the 2nd, and that's the day they wanted me to come back. And I was like, well, unfortunately, explained it to them. They came back, and the lady said, can you be here Wednesday? And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, please be on time. We don't do biopsies on Wednesdays. They fit me in, So for me, that was like a God moment, like, okay, And once they got me in, they did the biopsy. And then January 12th of 2015 is when they called me back out and told me it was breast cancer. Invasive ductal carcinoma is what they told me.
So you were not thinking at all that way?
No, I mean, I wasn't. No, I was like, maybe it's just something, but
like a cyst or
yeah,
something benign.
And I had told my sister when I first found out, I said, well, I'm not going to tell anybody, but just so you know, oh, it's nothing. I said, you're right, it's probably nothing, but it's best to just at least see.
Mm-hmm.
And
how did you know that? A lot of women would have said, oh, I'll just watch it a while, or, I mean, so many times women will wait thinking it's going to go away. But you knew that you needed to get in.
And I think just because of how things unfolded, because now prior to me going that October for them to feel it, I had went a couple of months before because I was, I had got a tooth pull. And so I was taking some medicine that had caused some irritation. And when I went, it was my lady's time of the month, and they couldn't fully see me. So had they seen me, then I wouldn't have been able to go back because that would have been my one time already because you only get. So it was just, to me, little things like that was just God-driven.
Yes, I guess.
And it was
chills.
like, this is something. And then I had a coworker, and we're the best of friends, known her for years. And we were at work, and I was like, sis, let me let you feel something. And she touched it, and she instantly started crying. And for me, that was another, okay, kind of like, take this a little more serious. And so it was like, I stayed ahead of it to try to, just because it might not be nothing. Mm-hmm. But you still have that chance it could be. And it was. But look at us.
Oh, yes. You are, gosh, 10 years?
Yes, ma'am.
That is amazing.
11 in July, cancer-free.
Wow. So now how did you tell your daughter?
Hey, that was a difficult one. I really didn't know because, again, I didn't know much about cancer. Mm-hmm. And it's going to sound silly, but I always knew hair fall a lot. So for whatever reason, I thought it was like with radiation that, I didn't know. And so when they told me I had to do chemo first, and that's when it falls out, I knew that was going to be a dynamic for her and her brother. She was 13 and he was 7 when I found out.
Oh.
So I told her first. And honestly, she was a trooper. Like, I mean, to be 13 years old and have to take on that type of responsibility and role, and she did it with such grace. Like, she could be asleep, got to get up for school in the morning, and if I get up and maybe got a little moan, trying not to be too loud, Mama, what you need? Don't get up by yourself. I'm gonna help you. You got to go to school. Mama, I'm gonna get up for school, but I'm gonna help you. And she's just been my rock always, but she stepped up in ways not only with me, but helping me with her brother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big responsibility at that age.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So what was your treatment like?
So we did chemo.
You did the chemo.
Mm-hmm. And then we did surgery. Mm-hmm. And then we did the radiation.
Okay. So you had the whole gambit.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Whole kaboom.
Did your hair fall out?
It did. It did. But you know what? In all honesty, I felt like I kind of took control of it. Like, I knew it was going to fall. So what I did is, prior to my first round of chemo, I cut it short and rocked that look. And then after chemo started, it started coming out. So my sister, she's a beautician. And so we went wig shopping and made it a fun event. And then I had MD Anderson to go ahead and cut the rest of it off one day when I was at an appointment. And, we rocked the wigs. I was a little more nervous. I kind of rocked the short hair a little more. I wasn't one that was bald-headed too often out in public. I was going to keep a wig. But once it kind of started growing back in and that little short look, I loved it.
Yeah.
Rocked it for a while.
Well, it is such a traumatic time, no matter what. But
it is, yes.
But it sounds like you did something different with it and made it fun.
Yes, ma'am. We tried to keep the kids as normal as possible. To where it's not too traumatizing to them or, could still keep them in a good space despite what we were going through.
Mm-hmm. Now, did the Rose help you get into treatment, or had you found insurance at that point? Or
no. So when I came here, and I didn't have insurance, and so it's funny because I was about to get. So I had signed up for it in December, and so I was going to pay my portion I think it was like the 22nd, and then when the day that they told me, she was like, "No, there's a breast cancer Medicaid that I believe you'll qualify for. Let me fill this out for you and do that." And I said, okay. She said, don't pay it just yet. Let me see what happens. And I was steadfast about going to MD Anderson. I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to go to MD Anderson. And they called me and said they had got everything approved. So, no, literally, the Rose saved me. Oh. In all honesty, there's no other way to put it. For not coming here, and then everything. I got diagnosed January the 12th, they told me, and I had my first appointment at MD Anderson January the 27th.
Ooh, that is fast. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who is your doctor? Do you remember?
Oh, Lord. I don't remember her name, and it was a horrible one. I think it was Ransami. And she was phenomenal. They just, and then with the treatment plan, they did, ended up in the hospital a couple of times, but in all honesty, no major complications.
And how long did it all take? About a year?
Yes, ma'am, because I had to do chemo for a year. Okay. I did the 2, and then I did Herceptin for a year.
Oh, okay.
So I went back for that one after, but yes, ma'am. So pretty much about a year, and then because I had my surgery, and then I started radiation. Then the next year I did my reconstruction, and I think we did one revision after that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was, it's just, hey, I'm going for, they've been to my knees all my life. I want them as little as possible. So,
that is one of the choices you have. Yeah.
My sister laughs at me all the time. She said, "How you cared about?" Because they told me, they said, "Well, ma'am, you do your surgeries and stuff. You could get a tummy tuck." And so that was my highlight of my twilight. That was, hey, I'm fighting for the kids too, but baby, a tummy tuck.
Oh, yeah.
Just something to keep you engaged in everything, when your body is going through so much.
Right.
And so that's what we stayed on that one.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. Now, you were working, though, still.
No.
Oh,
actually, I stopped working after my first round of chemo. I ended up in the hospital, and I just...
Which happens.
It does.
Yes.
And so that's how I ended up stopped working. I just couldn't anymore. And so then it was just fighting to be here for the kids and then being a mom. And then it helped me be able to become I was a hands-on mom, but even more of a hands-on mom because now I'm at home when they go to school, when they come in. And then once I did get back to working, now I work from home. My son's a senior in high school now. So.
Oh, what a success story. Or that's just so good to hear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I want to know why you described yourself as a survivor who refuses to whisper. What's that all about?
That's just simply being a voice to remind others that you don't have to walk alone. It's others who go through this, who went through this. Sometimes, you get the word cancer and it feels like a death sentence. And it's truly not.
Right.
I literally tell people I'm a walking, talking testimony. And, and not just with cancer. But I feel like those other things set me up for this, to be able to speak and let them know it's not easy, but it's worth it. The fight is truly worth it. Every day isn't going to be a good day, but in every day you can find something good.
Well, that's good. I mean,
yeah,
that's a great way of looking at it.
It's just perspective. That's what life is. It's perspective. If we tweak our perspective about certain things, for instance, say we just said job. What a job. Okay, I wanted this job, but I didn't get it. Okay, well, if I didn't get it, just that perspective, it wasn't for me. Something better coming, So it's just little things like that.
Did you develop this personality or this approach or this attitude, or did you inherit it?
I want to feel like I've always had an optimistic attitude. I've always been a very optimistic, happy person. I love speaking hope, speaking love, speaking light into others. Like sometimes I think I see in others something that they don't see themselves. And, I love to be an encouragement. Like I don't go to MD Anderson anymore, but I'm in a program. They reach out to me at times because of my story. Can you speak to this person? Would you mind speak? They're looking, and I do that regardless. And like I said, I don't go there anymore. But they still have my unwavering support because when you're going through such an situation, it's hard to be optimistic, for one. But by the same token, if you allow others in and not try to be so private about it. One thing I tell people, you have to know your family history. And back when I was coming up, certain things you didn't know. It was swept. You
talk about it.
You just knew grandma, grandpa, whatever. They just wasn't feeling good. You didn't know your family history, and now I feel like if you know that now and you know more about that, you could be more vocal for yourself. Because we have to be our own advocates.
Oh yes, that's so true.
You can't tell me my body hurting. I have to be able to voice that. Like, I was 36, so they say my daughter need to start checking at 26.
That's
but
true.
She know my whole family history.
Right.
My son, he knows everything. So once he branches out, men can get it too. So you have to know those things. I didn't know.
Yes.
I found out once. Well, y'all couldn't have told nobody that, but it is what it is. But it was a learning experience to know. So as my kids know, no, there's nothing you hide. There's nothing you keep. It's a part of your story.
It is. And that is so true. If we know, then we're going to be more aware.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to do that surveillance, and we're going to go have those mammograms and everything. This wasn't your first mammogram, though, was it? Oh, because 36 you wouldn't have had.
Yes, ma'am.
That's very young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the thing for me, from my understanding, my mom had found a lump when she was like 40, but it was so small, and I think they just removed it. She, but she never told anybody. Well, had she said something, then I would have started a lot younger. But
yeah, but it sounds like you had this whipped going in almost.
Absolutely.
You were determined.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't want to leave my kids. I needed to. I God has started me on a journey of raising, as I like to call them, thing 1 and 2. And I, in my heart, I just wanted to see that through.
So talk about your faith. Talk about how much that helped you through.
Oh, that helped me so much. So the day that I found out, my sister go kill me. So I called her and told her, and you would have thought I had just told that woman I had 60 days to live, the way she hollered on this phone. And I called my dad afterwards, and my dad read a prayer to me called Let Go and Let God. And that was the game changer, because we can only control what we can control. Mm-hmm. And I knew in order for my family to be okay, for my kids to be okay, because that's the main focus, my kids to be okay, right. They had to see me be okay. They had to see me walk in faith and me truly trust the process, despite of what I was going through and despite of what I was going to go through, because I've never been through this before. I didn't know what type of toll it was going to take on my body, mentally or physically.
Right.
And after he read that, I mean, that was it. And then, like I say, as things started progressing, it would be little things that would show me that let go and let God. So, like I say, after I came here, again, like I said, because I didn't know before I came here, when the little clinic on Titwell, they, referred me over to you guys. There's let me get this insurance. So, like, remember I was telling you, I was in the process of getting it. Mm-hmm. Well, a coworker, to my understanding, had told us, like, you got to say one thing when you're getting the insurance. And it was just, and for whatever she said, I didn't mention it. So that's why mine didn't kick in until December, and then I was going to pay it in January. But then we got diagnosed, and then she said, don't pay it. I think you qualify for this Medicaid. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we did. So then the day that we get in, the situation with my daughter, they ended up just signing for their time, and we didn't have to go to court.
My goodness.
So I could start my treatment and just focus on my treatment now. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, it would just be little things that it's out of my control. It's nobody but God. So I don't have nowhere else to put my faith but in Him. Mm-hmm. And then that's how we're here talking. And then, like, doors that have opened prior to this, and I tell people I'm scared. Me and my daughter were just laughing because I tell her when we going on the freeway, I don't like going over overpasses. I've just always been scared since I was little. And I always been scared to fly. Well, after breast cancer, ma'am, baby, now can I get a jet to the store? I don't want to drive no more. I want an airplane everywhere. Can we just fly me everywhere? Just fly me out. But so many other doors, and I was able to see and do things with my kids. Now, do I wish cancer on anybody? But again, it's the outlook that you have. It happened. Mm-hmm. So you got to be open, use me.
And I know when you're encouraging people, you can just feel it, that you know the words to say and they come to you easily.
Effortlessly. And now sometimes I do get a little choked up. I can get a little choked up, but I'm always looking for the right words to say. I definitely, like I said, I try my best, not only just pour into my kids, my nieces, nephews, cousins, my cousins' kids, like anybody I come in. My daughter would tell you, I'm one of those people. Don't just make eye contact and we stop somewhere, because now my kid's looking upside my head like, ma'am, can you come on? Because I'll just sit and I'll start talking to a stranger. Everybody deserves respect, no matter what. And so I just feel like sometimes you don't know what people are battling up here in their head. Mm-hmm. So your kind word, just a moment of listening. I understand. I've never been in that situation, boo. I'm a boo, hun, babe, handsome, pretty, whatever. But to get that compassion across, but I've been through this situation, so you keep going. I promise. It doesn't. I had got a shirt made this one time, and it says, "You too can survive," but it's YOUTOOCANCERVIVE. It's CANCERVIVE. You too cancer, but you too can survive.
Oh, can survive. Interesting.
Yeah. So
yeah.
so And it doesn't, it reflects the word cancer, but that could be for anything.
Anything.
No matter what you're
right.
going through, you too can survive.
Yeah. And so that's part of your message when you're talking to people.
Yes, ma'am. At all times.
I bet your name is on the top of the list at MD Anderson to have. Let's get her. She's the one that can pick this person up.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's when you think about it, that's a volunteer service that is truly a service.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something you're doing that nobody else can do like you do.
Yeah. And until I have family members, if they have a friend or somebody they know, I've met so many people just from family members reaching out. Hey, I know somebody, my coworker, such and such, I think your story is phenomenal. Can you talk to him? I have situations. I met one of my aunt's cousins on her dad's side. She was having chemo treatment. I got her a shirt made, say cancer chose the wrong diva. I get shirts I got made for somebody to say, tell cancer, bye Felicia. Like on Friday. I'm just, we find different ways. Because for me, when I was going to radiation and treatments, T-shirts were my thing. Mm-hmm. I love going in with a shirt because then you had everybody's reading it. Mm-hmm. You're in MD Anderson, getting ugly news potentially. Mm-hmm. That makes people smile as they see it. They get a chuckle, Right. And then we all fighting together. Mm-hmm. So I would meet ladies there, like with radiation, because it was daily. I had one lady, we would sit and talk every day. And my last day of radiation, when I rung the bell, she happened to be there. Like I still have pictures in my phone with her and I.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Goodness.
Yes, ma'am. So that's just what I do.
So here you are on our podcast on your birthday.
On my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm so tickled. This is the other thing. Remember, we had you scheduled before.
Right.
And it didn't work.
It didn't. And so when she sent the schedule, when she sent me the new days for this month, and I looked at it and I saw March 4th, I said, that's why. That's why February 4th didn't work out. Because it was written to be March 4th. And yes, March 4th is my birthday, but you guys gave me New Life Day on January the 12th, 2015, because I am a survivor. So I keep this right here with faith.
Yes. That is so...
Right. So I can always, when I ain't got on no jacket or nothing or a long sleeve, just look down and remind myself that, there's purpose.
Well, I tell you, you've been a gift to us today, that's for sure.
Well,
10 years out, almost 11.
Yes, ma'am, almost 11.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, great story.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I hope
absolutely.
we can have your name as someone that we could have speak to other people.
Y'all got my information.
Yes, we have your information. I'll make sure the navigators know how good you are.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, that's what I'm here for. I do, honestly, I truly believe in pouring to what poured into me. And again, you guys give people life. You give them hope. I told you, like, how quick my turnaround was, And again, everybody's story is written differently, through God. But He uses you guys in ways that if it weren't for you, there's so many of us who wouldn't be able to share or tell a story. So we are truly thankful for you, for loving on us and loving the human creation enough to create such an organization that does this, you know what I'm saying, off of a referral.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. You guys are a blessing. So,
That's it.
Yes, ma'am. And I love your pink again.
Oh, thank you. All right, that's our story today. Thank you again for being with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us today on Let's Talk About Your Breasts. This podcast is produced by Speak Podcasting and brought to you by The Rose. Visit therose.org to learn more about our organization. Subscribe to our podcast, share episodes with friends, and join the conversation on social media using hashtag Let's Talk About Your Breasts. We welcome your feedback and suggestions. Consider supporting The Rose. Your gift can make the difference to a person in need. And remember, self-care is not selfish. It's essential.